Well, what we're seeing right now is more of what we saw at the beginning of the outbreak. When things started back in March, there was extension across the border into Sierra Leone. There were cases in Liberia. The outbreak moved to Conakry and got everyone quite excited then. And gradually, these satellite outbreaks were contained and things moved back just to the central outbreak. And now we're seeing the same thing again. It's moved into Sierra Leone, it's moved into Liberia. So this is a bit more of what we saw before, but it's not different in character, just different in the amount of what we're seeing.
Well, I'm going to ask you a little bit more about that judgment because one of your colleagues is being quoted by the Associated Press as saying it's totally out of control. That's a terrifying remark.
It is. I would say rather that it is not yet under control. We managed to control some of the earlier satellite outbreaks. We've had new ones. These are going to get brought under control. But it is a difficulty for us because it requires a lot of resources to do this. We only have so many people, and an Ebola outbreak control intervention is a big deal even for a small one. And when you multiply it several times over, that requires a lot of people and resources. So we're stretched thin, and we could use some help from the national governments of the countries involved. But we will.
I'm going to interrupt. I don't want to be alarmist, but I'm wondering how much alarm is appropriate. Some people are describing this as the worst outbreak ever.
Well, it's certainly the largest. Extension geographically has been impressive, and it's been going on for about 3 months now, which is certainly longer than we would have expected, and it will probably continue for a while. So this will be the largest outbreak on record. I don't know that that makes it terrifying for people who don't live in West Africa, but it is certainly an impressively large outbreak.
Why is it larger this time?
Well, the thing that's different this time is the mobility of the people involved. Ebola is spread through close social contacts, which means that if it stays within a geographically limited area, the number of people that you come into contact with that will attend your funeral or take care of you is reasonably small. These people move about a lot, so that when they become exposed to Ebola in one location and then move 50, 100, 150, 600 kilometers somewhere else, and then become sick there, then we have to deal with a whole new satellite outbreak over there. And this population in West Africa, they move around a lot. They move bodies after they've died to be buried in another town, and this has caused a certain amount of problem.
So what needs to be done?
Well, we have to try even harder to engage the population in outbreak control. They are very scared by the outbreak. They have their own beliefs, and they tend to hide when we come and look for cases of Ebola. They don't trust that we're going to take care of them. They think that we are there to make matters worse at times, and we have to engage their trust so that they will collaborate and become partners in outbreak control. As well, we have to find a way to communicate better. When people move about, we have to find a way to make sure that we can keep track of them when they move from town to town. One of the important things you do in an Ebola outbreak is keep track of the people who are in contact with someone who is sick. And when these people are moving about left and right, it makes it difficult to contain the outbreak, and communication will help with that as well.